In 48 hours from now, we know who wins the Women's Prize of 2023, who is the winner. It can only be 1 out of 6 books that are shortlisted. And in this video, I'm going to tell you who the winner of the Women's Prize 2023 might be. I have 3 favorites. I would be happy if 3 of my favorite books win the Women's Prize. And I wouldn't be so happy if one of the other 3 books win. So let's start with the other 3 books that I have on this list. I looked at 2 of them. One I read completely, that is Louise Kennedy's novel The Trespasses from Ireland. It's the story of the Troubles. It's a love story between a younger woman and an older man, of the different religions, Protestant and Catholic. Love story, and it's very detailed description of the atmosphere during the Troubles. But I didn't really felt so much for this book. It took a long time to sort of get into that atmosphere for me. It's too slow paced for being a real great book for me, at least. Maybe you liked it and maybe you see it as the winner of the Women's Prize. Tell me in the comments down below. The book that I did not read at all, I didn't have it in my hands. I wasn't interested at all. That is Pod by Laline Paul, with a dolphin as the protagonist, more or less. I wasn't at all interested in that book, and I heard very mixed reviews. The third book that I would see between 4 and 6 in that shortlist selection is Maggie O'Farrell's certainly wonderful novel, A Marriage Portrait, which deals with Lucretia, 15-year-old who was married in the 16th century and murdered. And Maggie O'Farrell is a master in describing the atmosphere of that time, the atmosphere of the people who surround Lucretia and her husband and everything. I read the first 40-50 pages and decided not to read on because there's so many other books that I just want to read. I had read Hamlet and I liked it, but I didn't want to read Marriage Portrait till the end. It might be a winner, but I don't think it will win because the last victory of Maggie O'Farrell with Hamlet, she won the Women's Prize, is just a few years ago. So I don't think that it will win. Now to my 3 favorite books. And I would be happy if any of these 3 books win. So let's go to first Black Butterflies. It's a novel by a debut author, Priscilla Morris. And I'm currently reading it. I haven't finished it yet. It is the story of Sarajevo in 1992. Independence from Bosnia-Herzegovina and the Bosnian Serbs who start attacking the city, who put the city under siege. Snipers on the houses, explosions, shelling, stuff like that, In the middle is a 55-year-old female artist whose relatives, whose husband have left, and they can't go back because the city was sort of cordoned off to a certain point, and no flights go and no trains go and everything go, and she's trapped in that city, but she doesn't want to leave either, and she's experiencing this city under siege, and it's very well described by Priscilla Morris. I really liked it, and I wonder how it will end, of course, but this is one of my 3 favorites. The second one is that I would love to win, maybe most of them all. This is Fire Rush by Jacqueline Crooks, which is the story of Yamai, a beautiful character. I met this beautiful character from the 1970s, England, first in London, then in Bristol, then in Cockpit Country, Jamaica. The story of a woman's liberation, you could say also. She grows up and she's doing her teenage adolescence in London, in the clubs of dub music, of reggae music. She's also someone who performs actively in the music. She has a great love story with a guy called Moses, but then Moses is killed by a violent act of the police. She gets into a relationship with another guy, which is very abusive, it's not directly an abusive, but it's a very threatening and dominating relationship that she wants to get out of. And finally she goes to Jamaica. No spoilers here, I think, because the rest of the story you have to read. This is beautifully done with lots of music inside the book. There's also a playlist on Spotify, which is not important to sort of judge the book. But I like the character Yamai so much that I would love to see Yamai entering the stage and taking the women's prize, and that is Jacqueline Crooks. The big super duper trooper favorite of everybody on BookTube. Everybody probably also of the critics. It's a masterpiece, nothing less than a masterpiece. It's the big, huge favorite, although she has also won the Women's Prize, but many years ago. This is America's Barbara Kingsolver and her novel, her modern Dickens version of David Copperfield, which is called Demon Copperhead. This is an amazing book. I loved it so much. It's about this character, Demon Copperhead, who's a red hair, born in Appalachia in a trailer home by an 18-year-old mother who's a drug addict, and his life that he is surviving because he's telling this as a first-person narrator. It's a very hard life in poverty, and the world is not the friend of those people who are living in Appalachia, and the character is so vivid, and all the characters in the book are so vivid that it really is something very special. A book that is not being published each and every year, a book of that quality. And everybody thinks that it should win the Women's Prize tomorrow, on Wednesday. But I think that Fire Rush by Jacqueline Crooks should win, because my reason for not directly wanting Demon Copperhead to win. If it wins, it's okay, I will be happy, I will clap my hands, I will congratulate, of course, Barbara Kingsolver to it. It would be great to see it as a winner, but the reason why I want to see this as a winner is that here we have not only a women author, Jacqueline Crooks, but we also have a strong female character in the focus and the center of the novel. And that is my main reason why I want Yamai and Jacqueline Crooks to win the Women's Prize on Wednesday. This is my favorite, but I also will clearly be happy if Demon Copperhead wins or if Black Butterfly wins by Priscilla Morris. So tell me who's your favorite, and then on Wednesday we will see. Bye.